a report to the then Minister General Perjury to blow that whistle what was happening within IPID, where implicated Mr. McBride. Then when I submitted that disclosure to the then Minister Perjury, subsequently my report was 28 April 2018. Then 25 May, the very same report ended up in the hands of Mr. McBride, which he got very upset with the content where the report was implicating him in particular and Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. Then in that report, Mr. McBride got so upset with me and he suspended me immediately because of that disclosure which I made to the minister. Then in September 2018, it was going to be my departmental hearing for what I was suspended for. Then during that time on my hearing, it was 19 September 2018. Before my departmental hearing commenced, Mr. McBride arrived in the venue. It was in Senzo. He arrived at the venue, which it was a shock to all of us that what McBride is doing in the hearing, because he's the executive director. Then subsequently, Mr. McBride had a long chat with his legal team representing IPID. Then after that, my legal team were called in, and then they informed me that Mr. McBride is proposing a settlement agreement, that my hearing should not continue. He will withdraw all charges against me, then I should resign. So that is part of our confidential settlement agreement, which I accepted. So I left IPID after entering into that settlement agreement, where all charges Mr. McBride was charging me, he withdrew. Then I entered into settlement agreement with the IPID. That's how I left IPID, Chair.
So you deal and were keen on the arrest. They held a meeting with a private investigator at some point, after which they were to work together. Since then, there is silence on the whole investigation on the deceased. Key puzzles on this matter, which are a source of grave concern: the abandonment of the case around the identified and arrested suspects, including the suspected trigger puller at Josini and the manner in which the whole case has been handled up to now. Lack of progress on the investigation on the murder despite so many investigators and investigations. So it seems to be the case that Minister Mchunu was complaining about the lack of progress on the investigation.
That's correct, Chair.
We understood from his evidence that at the time the DPP had already decided not to prosecute the matter or to prosecute him in the matter.
Chair, I think it's also important to elaborate the distinction, because the DPP did not decline to prosecute a murder case. A murder case continued until the suspects were arrested and convicted and sentenced. So maybe I can give a brief summary of a defeating case. So after Minister Mchunu submitted this complaint to IPID, he's complaining about this police conduct. Subsequently to that, I was assigned to the docket to investigate that case, that complaint. Then during my investigation, including visiting the Hawks, because Hawks were the one dealing with the murder docket of Xolani, to try and ascertain about the complaint of Minister Mchunu. Then I then got to understand that there were a defeating the ends of justice case that it was registered against the police, which were working with a private investigator. The private investigator was appointed by Minister Mchunu. So there was a defeating the ends of justice that were registered, and subsequently, because the private investigator was hired by Minister Mchunu, subsequently Minister Mchunu was also a suspect in that defeating. Then when I go through all the documents, that defeating were already declined to prosecute by the DPP. By that time, it was 5 years ago. So now when I'm trying to figure out what is a valid reason now to reopen the case after the DPP declined, that is where we realized that there were no valid reason to reopen the case. So my investigation ended there, where I submitted a report and my recommendation to the Hawks that there is nothing wrong to reopen a case as long as they follow all legal prescripts, whereby there is any new evidence, there are any new information, and then they take it, the docket, back to the DPP to overturn the decision of that DPP. Those were my recommendation, that in fact, just follow the correct procedure, because the minister is feeling harassment. So just follow those processes. He welcomed me. I came past by just to greet him and talk general things. There was absolutely nothing. In fact, there was even nothing. He was even out of government. There was nothing we could relate, except that I was the one who thought it fit to keep this contact of a person which I see him as a high regard.
Did you in your interaction with him, did you keep him informed of your own development, what you were doing, where you were working, and so on?
Not at all. As a result, he did not even know I even left IPID. He thought I was still with IPID because we were not. And Chair, if I can brief you, a nature of a person we are talking to, he talks very less. He's a person that you hardly even interact. He is a person of short words. He did not even know I left IPID. He thought I was still IPID because we were not discussing those personal things. He's a person that he got appointed as a minister of DPSA. You'll send that test, congratulations, minister. Then you leave it there. Those type of interaction, not necessarily, I'm not in politics, not necessarily what is it that we were a specific subject.
Yeah. You then also subsequently, and you deal with this from paragraph 31 onwards in your statement. At paragraph 32, you say Minister Mchunu was appointed as the Minister of Water and Sanitation in 2021 through to 2024. During this time, I remained in contact with him. At the time, I already knew Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. I had been introduced to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi in 2017 by a colleague, and I worked with the task team at IPID, Mandla Mashlangu. Then and this I wanted to raise with you. In early 2024, Lieutenant General Nkwazi visited my house and asked that I accompany him to Mpangeni the next day. I agreed to go with him because I was planning to visit Minister Mchunu the next day, who is also based in Mpangeni.
That's correct, Chair.
So was that just a coincidence that you had planned to go to Mpangeni to visit Minister Mchunu when Lieutenant General Nkwazi also indicated that he would want to meet Minister Mchunu?
Chair, in the context of this, it was not that the next day I had a planned appointment with Minister Mchunu. When General Nkwazi wanted me to accompany him to Mpangeni area, then I just started that, oh, there's a person there that I was planning at one stage. It's been a while, go and see him. So if you want me to go there with you, let's rather pass by and I want to greet the minister, of which General had no problem, and if also the minister had no problem.
Can you tell us why Lieutenant General Nkwazi would want to meet the Minister of Water and Sanitation?
General Nkwazi has never wanted to meet the minister. We were going to Mpangeni area as friends, two of us, to do our things. Then while we were in Mpangeni, I said, let's go past. I checked, the minister is around. Let's go past and greet him. That's how General Nkwazi has never even said he wants to meet the minister. It was just that we are now at Mpangeni, then it clicked my mind that the minister's house is at Mpangeni, and it's been a while, I never even meet him. Then I said, no, let's go past there. And fortunately, the minister had no problem as well. Then we passed.
And you say at paragraph 33, in the middle of that paragraph, I went with Lieutenant General Nkwazi to Mpangeni to attend to his errands,
That's correct, Chair.
as he had asked me, and we also stopped by at Minister Mchunu's house when you introduced him to Minister Mchunu.
That's correct, Chair.
What were those errands that you referred to?
Chair, I wrote it deliberately like this because it was personal stuff of General Nkwazi, where I was accompanied. General Nkwazi was a very close friend of mine. I think it's safe to say it was a boys' trip. Safe to say like that. Otherwise, me and him will get into trouble. Because I believe his wife and my wife are watching here. So I don't want to delve much.
So you can't tell us much more, is it personal?
Yeah, no, it was very personal. Things that we do with him are sometimes very personal.
So wasn't Minister Mchunu curious that the two of you're on a boys' trip, what are you doing coming to visit him?
He did not even ask, what are you doing here? He did not even know we were in Mpangeni for what.
Describe to us your relationship with Lieutenant General Nkwazi. It seems to be, I can't hear.
Honorable members,
The Northwest. Lieutenant General Nkwazi sent Brown Mogotsi's number to me, and I confirmed that it was indeed Brown Mogotsi's number. So the question is that you would have facilitated meetings between the minister and other ministers and members of the public, including Mr. Brown Mogotsi.
That's correct, sir.
So just tell us, what did you know about any meetings between Mr. Mogotsi and Minister Mchunu?
Since I joined ministry office in August, I only recall one meeting which I facilitated between Minister and Brown Mogotsi, who in turn arrived with several other people, 4 or 5 of them. Then I also recall facilitating a second meeting with the Brown Mogotsi, which that meeting could not materialize. The guests or people also had other urgent engagements. Then I had to cancel that meeting. So that, since I joined, that are 2 meetings, then I can recall.
Now, you say, I'll come back to those meetings, but you say at paragraph 80 that you personally got to know Brown Mogotsi during your position as Chief of Staff. It appears to indicate some kind of ongoing, continuous relationship between you and Mr. Mogotsi.
No, in facilitating those meetings, Brown Mogotsi had to know my number and I have to know his number. Because now I'm facilitating, Minister gave me Brown Mogotsi's number for me to facilitate with Brown Mogotsi. Then in turn, Brown Mogotsi ended up knowing me. So that's how I get to know Brown Mogotsi.
Did you say, or did I hear you, that you said the minister gave you Brown Mogotsi's number?
Yes, I did not know Brown Mogotsi. It was like any other guest that the minister will want me to facilitate and give me details of that guest to make sure the meeting will take place, to make sure I also create a slot for that meeting.
So you personally know of one meeting that you facilitated between
Yes, I
Mr.
only know
Mogotsi
2 meetings. One, the other meeting could not materialize.
and in the one meeting that did take place, were you present in that meeting?
No, I did not enter in the boardroom.
So on what basis did you get to know Mr. Mogotsi during your, and I'm quoting you, during your position as Chief of Staff, other than getting his number from the minister, other than facilitating 2 meetings, one that took place and another that never took place?
What I can give in summary, Chair, because when I need to facilitate a meeting, in some instances, I will be given a purpose of the meeting, so that when I engage with a guest, I will brief him why the minister wants him. If my memory serves me correct, during that time, we were having a huge challenge in Northwest Steel Fontaine mining, Zamazama thing. During that time, there were these illegal miners that were trapped underground. So by the time Minister said, can you contact this comrade, he's from Northwest, if he can come with a few local leaders. We were planning to go to Stilfontein. Then he wanted to meet them to get a sense of what is going on in Northwest and so forth. But that was a sense of how I facilitated that meeting, of which Brown came with 4 or 5 other people, but I could not enter that boardroom. I was not part of that meeting. But I did know the basis of why I'm facilitating such a meeting.
So I just want to refer you to a WhatsApp message that Brown Mogotsi sent you on the 31st of January 2025.
Where is that message, Chair?
Sorry. Sorry, Honourable Chair, Honourable Members, the message was not printed for some reason. Mr. Nkabinde, can your lawyers just assist? I think they've got a copy of this. What WhatsApp messages? It's the 31st of January 2025.
But we don't have it.
I think. Yes. It's at page 71 and 72 of an additional bundle that was handed to the honourable committee members. Do you have it there, perhaps? Is that from Mogotsi? Is that the first one? On what page would that be?
It's on the thing that I have.
The first WhatsApp would be at 12:34 from Mogotsi. It appears to. It's on that page 71 on the top here. You'll see there Brown Mogotsi, Chief of Staff. Is that addressed to you?
Which message, Chair?
The
Which
first
message?
one the first message on page 71.
I think you said 12:34. But I don't
No.
see
Have you
first-
got
the top-
71? Page 71?
the first message.
Yeah, no. Can we just work from the top,
That's it.
if you don't mind? Brown Mogotsi, at 11:05 on the 31st of January, Chief of Staff.
I see that wording.
Would that be to you, addressing you?
Is it talking to who?
I'm asking you. It says there Brown Mogotsi.
No, I see here there's a name on top, Brown Mogotsi,
Yeah,
underneath Chief of Staff.
yeah.
I don't see who's talking to who.
Okay. So below that, there's in brackets, there's a name Dlamini.
I see that name, Chair.
Who is that a reference to?
Who's?
Dlamini.
When I was following these proceedings, Ad Hoc and Madlanga, I remember seeing messages that were presented at Madlanga Commission. They were referring to this Dlamini name as Kat Vusmatlala.
Yeah.
So that's how, otherwise I don't even know who's this Dlamini. I can refer in that perspective, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that response. I wasn't going to put it to you, so that you confirmed that was a reference to Katmatlala, this Dlamini.
Yes.
Then he says, please arrange meeting as soon as possible. I think they're escalating the matter to him of non-performance, or rather let me meet you and you will explain it to the minister. Now that minister is a reference to Minister Mchunu.
So is Dlamini talking to who?
This is an exchange between
Between who and who?
Mogotsi and Matlala, and this is in relation to the tender. It appears to be a relationship to the Tswani tender, which was subsequently cancelled. If you don't know about it, you
Yeah.
don't need to.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I was
to
just
comment.
wanted to
Yeah.
understand who's
Yeah.
talking to who.
And then
SC,
the next.
just a moment. Let's take Honorable Namval.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Mr. Nkabinde, no, I just want to make sure that I'm following you correctly. The other members who were with Mogotsi in a meeting that materialized, did you know them?
No, Chair, I did not know them. It was the first time.
Because I've just seen here in your statement.
Evidence leaders, I don't have my gadgets, and as a result, I'm unable to give you an accurate information because you are under oath. Some of these things are going to come across as being lies under oath because you didn't have the equipment. So this information written here is not worth the paper written on because it's thumb-sucked. Why should we proceed with these proceedings if you are saying you don't remember anything before or after? When you are caught, you change, it must have been before. Because here, paragraph 78, I confirm that I knew who Brown Mogotsi was and that the minister too knew Brown Mogotsi from Northwest. Lieutenant General sent Brown Mogotsi's number to me and I confirmed that it was indeed Brown Mogotsi's number. This is a very serious detail which you can't just give if you don't make reference to anything at your disposal. You even give specific date. You say 30th September. We struggle with our children's birthdays here. When you remember 30th September without facilities, and then you come and say, when it doesn't favor you, I don't have my gadgets. Therefore, I don't remember. But we have an affidavit which they are saying it was thumb-sucked, Chair. Thanks.
That is a sworn statement, and on top of it is the oath that has been administered here. Chief Whip, you will respond to the two. I'm taking the question from Honorable Malema and then the Chief Whip. Then we'll give you time to respond. Chief Whip?
No, thanks, Chair. Good afternoon.
I'm
Mr.
coming,
Nkabinde.
Honorable Skosana. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I'm partly covered by what Honorable Malema has raised because my question primarily, Mr. Nkabinde, was to ascertain the basis upon which you were deciding on your sworn-in affidavit to choose October, November. What were the basis? I understand that the catchers are not with you. I understand that there's a Lusigi meeting. But there are two choices you have made which are quite striking. And these are choices you made voluntarily. The first one is to decide that we are going to say October, November. The second choice you have made here now before us is the second choice you have made without us forcing you to decide on it, is to tell us that essentially the only time you had the number or the contact details of Mr. Mogotsi was shortly few days before you arranged the October-November meeting. That's your choice as well. We did not force you to that decision. So my question is, what makes you to, I mean, the first one, why did you decide to place November, October, November?
Let's start with the matters raised by Honorable Malema.
Chairperson, when I was consulted by the evidence leader, I was upfront with them that it is so unfortunate that I can't be precise with dates because I don't have information with me because of gadgets. Then I was advised to more or less, do you think it could be when? So this, I made this reference based on that, of which now I can confirm, guided by the call of General Mchunu, of which even that call, I can't be precisely, it was 30 September. I'm just guided by what he said. But
Yeah,
I can be...
Just hold it a moment. If we are not accurate in terms of the dates or the days, let's use the chronological method. Between the two events, which one came first? Lusigi and the October-November meeting.
It means it was an oversight on my side. The meeting of Mogotsi, it can't be after Lusikisiki. It's before.
The meeting that
Of Mogotsi
that
will be
Mogotsi,
before.
and then General Mkwanasi gave you Mogotsi's number in terms of your sworn statement after at Lusikisiki, which comes after the October-November meeting.
That's correct, Chair.
But you say that was the time when you first got Mogotsi's number. It was when you were given by Mkwanasi.
No, Chair. The
Li-
first, I was given by the
yeah,
minister.
I want you to understand it. How possible is that the minister requests you to have a meeting, to arrange a meeting, and the minister gives you Mogotsi's number?
Then it is not fair to infer, to conclude that the witness's evidence in its entirety should be ignored, because there may be other parts of the witness's evidence which either is corroborated by other witnesses, or the witness himself or herself can confirm and corroborate objectively. So, in my view, the committee has taken note of that particular aspect of his evidence, i.e. that relating to Mr. Brown Mogotsi, his knowledge of Mr. Brown Mogotsi, whether he interacted with him, and so on. The committee can take note that they're not satisfied with his answers in that regard, but perhaps we have him here. We should proceed and deal with the other aspects that we want to deal with. The important aspects, the IDEC complaint is important also in relation to Advocate Johnson's evidence on whether or not there is some kind of a witch hunt against Lieutenant General Kumalo when they arrested him. Mr. Nkabinde can shed light on that. So as much as I wouldn't mind, because we've got a mountain of work to do in relation to the preparation for the evidence of Mr. Matlala. There's a mountain of documents that we need to traverse, study, go through, and then consult with him tomorrow. But I think, in fairness for the process, yes, members have or may have taken a very dim view of Mr. Nkabinde at this stage, but allow him to continue with his other evidence, so that we can at least, we have him here today, let us conclude.
ANC. Oh, okay, question, Honorable Malam.
SC, you are saying we can't dismiss him on the basis of other parts of the evidence in his statement, but he said he thumb-sucked this affidavit. How do you go past that one?
Well, I'm not sure, Honorable Malema, that I heard him say that he thumb-sucked the whole of his affidavit. It seems to me that in relation to dates and WhatsApps to and from Mr. Mogotsi, he thumb-sucked them, and I think the committee can draw its own conclusions about that. That is why those emails, yes, Honorable Souls, they weren't put to him in consultation, but it's round about that time, September, October, and then you had the run-up to the 31st of December, and when we're talking about joining the dots, I put it to him and I said, did you get this in? And he says no. Clearly, today, the committee is not satisfied with that answer. But there may be other aspects where he can be credible and be believed. But I don't think at this stage we can rule him out, entirely.
Honorable Sangoni.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. The Chief Whip was reminding me here that we haven't caucused yet. So, Chair, I think having listened to what the evidence leader has just said, we would be more concerned if we proceeded. Because of precisely the issues that he raised about fairness to the witness and process. Now, where we are sympathetic to Mr. Nkabinde is that throughout his testimony, as well as in his submission, he kept referring to the fact that he doesn't have his devices, which means that he feels disadvantaged already in participating in this process. Now, we may try and say, no, this we can strike out, this we can read in, but the witness is telling you that I'm disadvantaged. Now, if we then insist to continue and we make findings on the basis of what he has already said he's in a disadvantageous position from, it will not be fair to this witness, because if you just listen to what is being said here today, it's clear that most of us think that he is lying, whether inadvertently or deliberately so. I don't think it is fair to continue. I don't think it's fair to Mr. Nkabinde to continue. I think he should be afforded an opportunity to go and double check things. I mean, you just need to do a Google search to see that Minister Mchunu didn't go to Lusikisiki on the 30th of September. It was the 1st of October, you know, but then we will then drill onto those inconsistencies. So I don't believe it's fair to continue to share. But the Chief Whip may have a different view. And other members.
MKP. Is it you, Honorable Skosan?
Yes. Thank you, Chair. I think it's evident that the witness, you know, from his own words, he said that he has sacked this statement before us. I'm a bit disappointed as well that he came with lawyers here, and I think we are the one who are paying. I might be wrong, but I think we are the one who are paying for those lawyers. In fact, as a witness, he was supposed to prepare as well for himself with his lawyers beside our legal team. But for me, from where I'm sitting, I think for us to continue with him, we'll have challenges at the end. As my other colleagues have said, that he will say his gadget, you know, he'll defend himself with that. So I guess the proposal for me will be he must go back and prepare himself with his lawyers this time, not with our legal team. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Chair. No, largely covered by, this is the position of the MK party on this matter. Because, Chair, if we continue under the circumstances, it's going to compromise the whole integrity and credibility of our work. The witness has said here that he has sacked. 2, he says his gadgets are not with him. 3, he says that the statement was written on his behalf. Now, that should give you an indication, Chair, that if our report here, our final report goes to court, then the witness, the very same witness that we want to sympathize with here, will use the same reasons that he has given here to say, by the way, that statement is not reflective of my sentiments. This is what transpired. So we must not set a wrong precedent, Chair. And 2, we must avoid trouble while it is still far away at all cost, and not wait for trouble to compromise the work of this committee. So in summary and in conclusion, we're saying we can't proceed under these circumstances because we will compromise the credibility of our work. The witness must go home and prepare with his lawyers. Thank you.
Honorable Cameron.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think there would have been enough reason to continue had he not said the bit about thumb sucking. When he said that, he lost us. I think in terms of his statement, if he had stated right at the beginning that some of the dates might be slightly off because of the fact he doesn't have access to his gadgets, there could have been a discussion around that. But what bothers me is there's no indication that he went above and beyond to get the relevant information. I'm sure that if he had written to the department, for example, and said, my gadgets have been seized, I need a record of the diary entrances that I made for the minister on, more or less between these dates, I can't imagine that the department would have not granted him access to that or given him a printout of it. So this isn't a haphazard type of thing. This is about the collapse of an entire criminal justice system. So I'm concerned about that, and I respectfully don't see him taking it seriously enough as we are here today. He needs to go back to the drawing board and bring information that we can actually work with. I'm not sure if there's anything in the rest of the statement that we can be sure is not thumb-sucked. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Tlhopha.
Thank you. I'm covered, Chair, by what Honorable Cameron has said, and I'm in full agreement.
Okay. Honorable Malema.
No, thanks, Chair. I think that the SC must speak from a very embarrassed position to even suggest what he suggested, because he's implicated in that mess. They say he wrote that kind of statement for the witness. That implicates us. That a witness was not properly prepared by our evidence leaders. And then they come and say, because they don't want to take responsibility, they come and say, no, let's proceed. They are the ones who prepared that statement for him. And this chap would have said to the evidence leaders of this committee, I don't have my gadgets. He says that actually. He says, I told them I don't have those gadgets. And when he speaks, you can hear the SC saying, roundabout, just estimate. When a man says to you, I'm in a disadvantaged position, I don't have my gadgets, I can't make reference to anything. Okay, more or less, when did this happen? And after they made him to do those things that he did in this statement, they said, no, let's proceed. After he said on a public platform that our own lawyers are the ones who said to him, thumbsuck, just roundabout, just think about it. Do you remember it? So it is incorrect that we want to put the whole blame on that chap without also making reference to our senior counsel, who should read these things and be able to point out contradictions right from the beginning, that but what you are saying doesn't make sense. So this guy deliberately misled us. He deliberately misled us, and the issue Honorable Matesi is raising of perjury is very correct. When you come here, you don't thumbsuck. That's a message we need to send, and I was telling the chief whip of the ANC that we need to prepare other witnesses by sending this one home, so that next time they come here, they know it's not a place to play here. It's not a playground here. We sit here until 12 midnight, and you still think we're playing. So we need to send a strong message. No one is going to come here and thumbsuck things and take advantage and want to undermine this committee. So I fully agree that we need to send him home. He needs to go, but we still need him back here. And there's nothing also, in my knowledge, Chair, that stops you from calling whoever took your gadgets and say to them, can I please have access to my gadget because I'm preparing for the Ad Hoc Committee. Those people will fully cooperate. He never says, I try to have access to my gadget, they refuse. So that's a person who takes this process very serious, that I can't go there without my gadgets. Can I please have access to my gadgets? I just want to cross-reference certain information. You can still keep them. Maybe they will even ask that he comes and do it in their office to do a cross-reference and be accurate on dates and facts about issues. He has never done that because this is a by-the-way process. We'll just see when we arrive there. They may not even ask us about those things. The minister went to the mine, 14 November. He says he was given a number of Mogotsi October, November to prepare for a meeting of the mine. When he realizes, man, I made a mistake because I said Mkhwanazi gave me the number and I confirmed it. It's not about the date. It's about what matters there is about when did he start communicating with Mogotsi. He deliberately decided to just lie. And then when his court says, no, I don't have gadgets, I was thumb sucking and all of that. So, Chair, we must never allow that here. No one must come here and play with this committee. I don't think he would have done that at Madlanga. So we must never be undermined as this committee, and that message must be sent strongly today. That here you don't thumb suck, here you come with facts and you back those facts with attachments. And from there, we can have a proper engagement. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Matthys. Pangazita.
No, thank you, Honorable Chair. No, from where I'm seated, Mr. Nkabinde is one of those key witnesses that we have lined up to assist us to unravel the issues that we are facing with here. So his statement is very critical. It has to be absolutely accurate. And the dates, Mr. Chairperson, for me, are very critical. You can't thumbsuck the dates. You can't make a mistake on dates because they actually dictate the sequence of events. Now, if he's not sure about dates, then obviously that will impact negatively on the sequence of events. If that impacts on the sequence of events, then we will never get to the bottom of the truth. So, therefore, then the question is, what will then be doing? Sizobe Senzo, what will be doing with this witness? For what purpose, if we continued? Knowing very well that, one, this is a thumbsuck. Secondly, the gadgets are not there, and therefore the dates are inaccurate, and that his statement was not written or was written for him, and yet he signed the statement and he took an oath of that. And then it calls to question the whole value of the oath that he took here. So I support the notion that, no, let him be given time to go and he recollect his thoughts properly and write a proper statement on which he will actually take an oath which has value. Thank you.
Honorable Sols.
Chairperson, I disagree with all of my colleagues. And my reason is, it is clear that Mr. Nkabinde, he lied, it's clear. And he lied under oath. Does that mean we should stop the entire proceeding and let him go and redo the affidavit? If we say he must do so, then we must treat all the witnesses the same. General Mkhwanazi lied under oath about his testimony on former Minister Becky Cele. He then withdrew and said he apologizes, which means he lied under oath to this House. General Mkhwanazi lied, Mr. Nkabinde lied under oath. They are both wrong. We are sitting here with a WhatsApp that the SC says this WhatsApp evidence has been provided as testimony to him by General Mkhwanazi. There's a possibility that these WhatsApps are fake. That's the reason why we are probing. And I asked the SC for clarity. The WhatsApp that General Mkhwanazi in his affidavit provides and says it proves that Brown Mogotsi spoke to the Chief of Staff via WhatsApp. Whereas the WhatsApp says Brown Mogotsi is the name, and the content of the WhatsApp speaks over Brown. Did Brown Mogotsi speak to himself? So there's a possibility that this too is a lie, and it must be probed. So, Chairperson, if we proceed to say Mr. Nkabinde must go redo the affidavit, then we must stop the entire proceedings and tell General Mkhwanazi because he lied, he must go and redo his affidavit, and then we start all over again. I propose that if we are going to be fair, what we do to the one, we must do to the other. I propose we proceed and we interrogate like it is our responsibility to do. We did a very good job in exposing the lie of Mr. Nkabinde. That's what we're supposed to do. When it's submitted to us, we interrogate and we will determine whether someone lied or not. What other honorable members can do in their rights, now that they have discovered that he has lied, and EFF says they will open up a case of perjury, they should do that, because that's what we are here for. But if we're going to stop this proceeding on the basis that he lied, I'll support only if we then tell General Mkhwanazi, because he lied under oath, he must redo his affidavit, we don't accept it, and we will start the entire process over. Treat all witnesses the same. We have no side here. We have not chosen a side. So what's good for the one must be good for the other. If we proceed, despite the lies, under oath by General Mkhwanazi, then we must proceed today with Mr. Nkabinde and interrogate on that issue. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable James.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think there's a difference here between General Mkhwanazi's statement and testimony where lies were exposed, alleged lies, and Mr. Nkabinde. Mr. Nkabinde clearly said earlier on that he was disadvantaged. So on that basis, to start off with, the man said he was disadvantaged, he didn't have his gadgets, and hence he had to thumbsuck the entire statement. I also cannot see us moving forward and having selective paragraphs that we're going to probe. It's either we probe a complete testimony or we leave it at that. Dates are key to this sitting, especially when it comes to us sort of doing, trying to connect dates in terms of mapping of occurrence of events. It is very key to us. So today I disagree with my colleague behind me in terms of saying it's exactly the same. It is not the same because he has stated that he's been disadvantaged. He didn't have access. Everyone else, we're going to probe and we're going to catch them out in their lies. But there's a difference here with this witness. Thank you, Chair.
Chief Whip. Chief Whip.
No, Chair, I think we've got to try and prevail on honorable source, in line with what the majority view is saying in the meeting. And I think Honorable James is making an important observation that in many respects, those that came before us and those that will be coming, there would be instances where we are able to demonstrate that what they are presenting before us is inaccurate, is inconsistent, is wrong, and may be informed by an intention to conceal certain information. But in this case, we're dealing with a person that says, right from the onset, I was not ready to come to you. I think, despite that, the fact that we've picked that up on one or two of the issues that were discussed, but the admission that right from the onset I was not ready, I think is sufficient, Chair, for us to agree that we should not proceed with the witness. And I'm saying, notwithstanding what Honorable Sols was saying about what Mkwanas, Lieutenant General Mkwanas and others have said before us. But in this case, we have to remember that the witnesses before us are here at our own behest. They need to help us. That's why the witnesses are here. We are not necessarily inviting people to prove that they've committed crime or they are wrong. We are inviting them to come and help us so that we can determine the appropriate course of action to deal with the crisis before us. So when a person who's supposed to come and help you says, I am coming to you, but I am not as empowered as I should in order to help you to achieve your own objective, I think it's fair that we must be sympathetic to that and allow for the witness to go back and prepare and come back to us at a later date. Thanks, Chair.
SC.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, Honourable Members. In relation to Nkwanas, General Nkwanas, can I immediately say that he did correct the allegation he made against Minister Nkele and then provided an affidavit. So I think it does fall in a different category. As far as the statement of all the witnesses that have appeared before this committee, we adopt the same procedure. We conduct interviews. They are recorded with the consent of the particular witness. We then draft a statement on the basis of that interview, referencing our terms of reference and the relevant documents. We then present it to the witness. As I indicated earlier, increasingly witnesses have lawyers on board with senior counsel and experienced attorneys. They then come back with a revised draft. We look at it and we engage, but at the end of the day, the responsibility for what's in the affidavit and what is eventually attested to under oath is their responsibility. Otherwise, we might as well have come here and just put the affidavit here and said to the Honourable Committee, now you can ask the witness questions. We don't. Otherwise, there's an assumption that we accept what the witness is saying under oath, and I think it should be pretty obvious from the examination of witnesses thus far that that is not the case. In fact, part of the preparation for witnesses before they appear here, we tell them that we are not only going to lead you in relation to what's in your statement, but we are also going to ask you questions. Some of these questions may be awkward or difficult, and we've also got to put the versions of other witnesses and statements to you, and there'll be an engagement. Because we don't have the luxury of a commission of inquiry where implicated persons are still going to be called and then it's going to be cross-examination later on. We don't. We have one shot at a witness who comes here. We lead the witness. The witness is then asked questions by honourable committee members, and that's how we do our business. So as far as today's statement is concerned, a draft was sent to them on Sunday afternoon. We subsequently got 2 further drafts. And the last draft was signed. I think parliamentary colleagues can confirm that we weren't happy with the fact that we got it pretty late, but they had to be put on SharePoint and they had to be printed. So perhaps I'm just being too defensive by saying we can't take responsibility for what's in the statement. We've looked at the other drafts, their material changes. But from an attorney-client privilege point of view, it's not fair for me to put to a witness and say, but this is what we put in the original statement, and now you've changed it. Why are you changing it? That's not how we work. And then just lastly, as a matter of evidence, it is so that if a witness tells one lie, yes, it may or can and often does affect the credibility of a witness, but it doesn't mean that you can call a witness an untruthful witness in his or her entirety without testing other parts of the evidence. I've tried to suggest a practical way forward, but if honourable members feel differently, that's your decision, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much, honourable members, and thank you, SC.
Point of order, Chair.
Point of order.
I raised my hand. Chair, the ANC has spoken, and then you allowed the Honourable Chief Whip to speak again. I raised my hand. You indicate to me I can't speak. So I'm asking, based on what statements has been made after I made my statement, I'm asking you to allow me also to speak.
Okay. If that is the point of order that we have given you a chance to speak. Okay. Let me say this. We have given the ANC chance to speak. We have given the MKP chance to speak. We have given the DA chance to speak. We have given the EFF chance to speak. We have given the IFP. We have given yourself. We have given the Action SA chance to speak. And then we gave Honorable Ntuli, who comes from the ANC, which has 4 members in this committee, chance to speak. You request that I must give you a chance to speak.
Yes, Chair, because it was not on individual. When you gave the ANC, when you gave the ANC an opportunity and every other party, you were giving members. 2 members was speaking for a party. So you completed the rotation and then you went back to the ANC. So you should go back if I have.
In the ANC,
No, but it wasn't about individuals.
Let me remind you, it was only Honorable Sangoni who spoke. And
but you asked, is there anyone else in the ANC? Then when you came to EFF, you asked if there was anybody else. So you finished the party.
There was no demonstrable intention on the part of the witness to be truthful with the committee. These are very simple answers that the witness could have given, or even if he was given 5 minutes, he would have gone out and confirm when did the minister go to Lusikisiki, when did the minister have a meeting with the delegation from the Northwest, and when did the minister went to Stelfontein, like Honorable Malema sitting here was able to know that the event or the visit of the minister to Stelfontein was on the 14th of November. So the summary of the discussion is that the proceedings are going to stop now with this decision. And then the legal team will then go and look at a date, probably the week that we are in Pretoria. We may have to look at rescheduling the appearance of Mr. Nkabinde. Is one of the key witnesses that we have identified. And we are not saying that at the time of his reappearance, he's going to say something new. He may come back and say the same information that he has given us here, because he continued here. He insisted, Honorable Sangoni, that he takes ownership of the statement. And if you also listen to what Honorable Nomvalo has said, that the statement was extracted from him, and then after it was written, it was sent back for him to go through it, and possibly with the assistance of his lawyers. And thereafter, when he was satisfied that the statement represents what he wanted to depose with the committee, he signed it and sent it here. A sworn statement. And when he arrived here, he took oath to say, apart from the sworn statement already before you, any piece of evidence that I'm going to give before this committee shall be the truth. And nothing but the truth. It was him saying it here. But he did not tell the truth that he had promised us that he will tell. So we have been told two sets of lies. Lies in the statement and lies orally presented here before this committee. And I think it's a matter which the legal team of Parliament will have to look at. If there is any consequence, they can advise us on how we should handle the matter of a witness who comes before the committee and misconduct himself the way he did. And honorable members, we must separate this from the correction that was made on the statement of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. It's a different matter, and they cannot be treated similarly. And then, as I conclude, honorable members, I will say that it's a sad day. I'm worried as the chairperson because we no longer have time, and we have written a letter of request for extension. And to miss a day in the proceedings is too much. We could have done work today. It's not something that we desired to do, but unfortunately, things happen the way they do. So we must look at how we can recover the time that we would have lost today. And we said that we need to allocate ourselves a day to deal with the public submissions. We still need to have that day and determine how we are going to deal with those matters. And members can make suggestions and indicate when do they think that we can have that meeting. Before Parliament rises, as we are waiting for the approval or disapproval by the Speaker, we should also have a meeting to determine the amount of work that we may want to do in the event we are given approval. Before Parliament rises, we must have done some work so that when we come back in January next year, we know that the work would have been done, and then the outstanding work, we can plan how we conclude it in that period between January next year and the time that the Speaker would have approved, in case that approval comes our way. And then the last thing that I'm going to request from you as honorable members, it is not the task of the chairperson to make the work of this committee especially how we conduct our proceedings to succeed. It is the responsibility of members. The manner in which you conduct yourselves during the proceedings is the one that determines how far we can go as the committee. And you can agree with me that some of the wranglings that we have in our meetings are unnecessary. So the half a day that is given to you today is time for you to go and reflect on the good things that you might have done in the committee and the bad things that might have set us back as a committee. And as I always say, do not tell anybody about the bad things that you might have detected. You just take a decision to say, in the next meeting, I want to be different from how I have been previously. It will not be new. Saul has also made a decision at some point when he reached a Damascus moment and decided to be Paul. So if all of us decide to be Pauls, that will help us to do our work with ease. And I want to thank you so much, honorable members, for the deliberations. We have not come to the end. We must formally call Mr. Nkabinde here back to inform him about the decision that we have taken. Can the staff help us? I see honorable members have their bags ready. Can the staff help us to, the staff